Hey, what's going on, good people? Welcome to Russ Can Fly. Oh my gosh, this video is gonna be different. I was supposed to fly, but let me show you what's going on.
Perfect.
So I was actually gonna fly little Sammy today, and as you can see, it's sitting out there on the runway. So if you can remember, this is the windsock. This is that first runway or exit way off of runway 23. So partner of mine was flying little Sammy, and he was on his takeoff roll, and all of a sudden he cut the power and flat tire. So definitely won't be flying little Sammy today, because you know it has a flat tire. Now it's going to be interesting to see what they do to kind of get it off of the runway. The thing that kind of sucks is I think there's like a hold now on the runway because of the fact that now there's like maybe 4 aircraft up there waiting to take off. So yeah, so he just shut the engine down, and I guess they're going to bring the truck out and tow him off the runway. And I think until that time, the airport is probably going to be closed. Okay, so as you can see, they've now gotten out of the airplane, and I think he had a student with him. So it looks like airplanes are now coming back. I think they're gonna, you know, come out and, you know, just kind of park their planes. There's a guy in this truck here. I think there's a way to tow the airplane. They're probably gonna try to figure that out. But yeah, I mean, that is just crazy. The cool thing is that the person who was in the airplane before me, because it's about 2:30, I was on the schedule for 3. They were with a flight instructor. So luckily the flight instructor was probably helpful in terms of telling them to, you know, pull the airplane down. So hopefully we'll be able to, let me see if I can get a little closer. So hopefully we'll be able to, you know, get some commentary. I don't know. I mean, it might have been a little scary, but I'd just be curious to know, you know, what that felt like. You know, what it felt like you're full throttle and, you know, all of a sudden the tire goes flat on you. And I was wondering like what had happened, because as they were coming down the runway here, I just noticed that when they came down, they basically just, you know, killed the throttle, and I didn't understand what was going on. But all of a sudden you could just hear this flap, 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 flap. And you know, it was just really crazy. So that must have been a really scary situation for sure. So hopefully I'll be able to talk to them. I won't try to, you know, get all up in their face and invade their space and all that kind of stuff, because I know that must be really scary. But that just goes to show you how important it is to have your emergency procedures, you know, well in place. All right, so as you can see now, the truck is out on the runway, and they basically just have to get the tow bar and tow the airplane, you know, off the runway. And until that time, I mean, basically, you know, the airport is closed. And I don't know if they're going to try to, you know, what you do, but I think there's like tow wheels that go underneath the wheel of the airplane. And so I'm sure that's probably one of the things that they'll do. And so until that time, I mean, you know, there's like basically a stop until they actually clear that airplane off of the runway. And so again, if you look down there, there's probably about, let me see, 1, 2, 3 aircraft lined up there. And you see that really nice older, I think that's an older 172 there. So it's definitely been interesting. So, and I've heard about people getting flat tires before, but I've never actually witnessed it. I'm just glad that they're safe. I think I've been told that the person in there is a younger person, but his dad was with him, and the dad is a pilot. So they're gonna go ahead and tow the airplane off of the runway. And so as you can see, the truck is coming back now. He's going to basically get the tow hitch. They've already got the tow hitch to the airplane, but like I said, they got, like, I don't know if you've ever seen those tow trucks in Philadelphia where they basically, you know, have, you know, wheels that they can put underneath the wheels of the car. Well, that's what they've done on little Sammy. They've put basically wheels underneath the flat wheels so that they can now you know, tow the aircraft without dragging the flat tire on the runway. Also, you probably wouldn't want to do that, because I'm imagining that you would definitely, you know, tear up some stuff on the runway. All right, so he's going back out. They're gonna see if they can't get the plane hitched to the aircraft. So what I was going to do today was fly little Sammy, because you know I felt bad. I haven't been in little Sammy, haven't showed little Sammy any love for a while, because I've been flying the low wings over at Northeast Philly. And like I said, about 2:30, 2:35, I knew that they were doing some pattern work in little Sammy, probably working on their crosswinds and stuff, because it's breezy. And 152s, one thing about them is they're very light, and so you really have to be on your control. So it's an excellent airplane to learn like crosswind stuff, because you really have to be dialed in. But for me, I was just gonna, you know, take off and, you know, have some fun. There was a smaller little airstrip that I was gonna land at, do some short field, do some soft field stuff, and then come on back. But that's the one thing that you can see about aviation. You can't predict what can happen, and on any given Sunday, like today, things can happen. So they have a 172 Alpha uniform that may be coming back. Maybe I can jump up on that for an hour, so we'll see. So if you see me in Alpha uniform 172, you'll know that I've had an opportunity to fly in that. But yeah, for now, this is what's happening. They're pulling little Sammy off as we speak, and yeah, I mean, that's how it goes. So yeah, so anyway, definitely a different video, but you know, I see some other aircraft in the air. Somebody was just doing a cross field for a left downwind. I think they've now diverted, because they see that, you know, that's not happening, and so they're pulling the airplane in. And so you see that they're getting ready to pull the airplane off of the runway, and now people can go back and line up and get ready to go. But yeah, that was you know, that was crazy. You know, instead of having a tow truck, you can use good old-fashioned elbow grease. But as you can see, the wheel is underneath that kind of tow wheel thing there, and so they're just dragging the aircraft off of the active. And yeah, just a crazy situation. So of course, you know, I got to be nosy and get back over there and, you know, take a closer look. So we're gonna do that too. All right, so this is this thing that I was telling you. This is what they put it in, and I was just talking to the gentleman, and yeah, I mean, it's crazy. So apparently what he said was he started feeling it pulling to the right on him a little bit, and just chopped the power, did his procedures. So yeah, so like I said, you know, you have to always be prepared for the, you know, the worst. And you know, I didn't want to put the father and the son on camera, you know, just to respect them, because not everybody wants to be online or whatever. But I did have a chance to talk to them really quickly. One of the things that he said to me is, as he was, you know, taxiing, you know, on the roll, two things that he noticed. One, the plane was kind of pulling to the right, and the ground speed just wasn't coming up. And so that's why, like, when you hear me take off, you hear me say airspeed is alive and that kind of stuff. What I'm doing is basically saying, okay, everything is within operational parameters, that, you know, there's enough airspeed where I can basically, you know, kind of take off. Well, the young man basically saw that that wasn't happening. They weren't building any airspeed, and this listing thing started happening. So he just pulled the power. But it wasn't until they stopped, you know, that you see that. So so yeah, no little Sammy today. I think this video is very important from the standpoint that this is what you have to be prepared for. You have to be prepared for everything. And so to all my fellow pilots out there, just know that at any time this could be you. You know, you could have a flat tire, and it could be on landing. So you have to just be prepared for all of those types of things. So at any rate, as these airplanes who have been waiting to take off all this time begin to take off, I'm going to wrap this video up. And you know, I'm disappointed that I don't get to fly little Sammy today, but I'm glad I got to witness a true emergency, and that everything worked out, because I want this video to serve as a reminder to all pilots, and anything that you do where, you know, you have to do something in a routine manner, so that people can be reminded that don't just phone it in. Stay focused, because the minute you lose your focus, something could happen and you run into a situation where it's this and those gentlemen walked away, or it could be something completely different. So at any rate, I'm just going to go ahead and stop this video and just thank the good Lord that those two men were safe, that little Sammy is good. Yeah, he'll need a new tire, but no big deal. He'll live to fly another day. Those two gentlemen will live to fly another day. I'll live to fly another day. All that good stuff. So with that, I'm out. Russ Kid Fly. See ya. Peace.